left-hand corner. I'll be going live now.
Okay, I'm looking,
Yep, here it is.
I don't see it on the Herald page yet.
Is it on there now?
I'm looking. Okay, yeah, I see it in it.
Okay.
Now I can.
Go ahead and share this out.
Oh, wait a minute, I think I'm sharing the wrong one. Wait a minute. That's 7 hours ago. So I don't actually see the live.
Try refreshing your page. Because I can see it. And if not, I'll share it on mine. You can just share it from my page.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
I'm looking at where to share it though. Okay, I see it now. Okay, how do I share it?
I'm just press share.
I don't see, let me see, watch video. I don't see a share, let me see. Okay, here we go. I'm looking at where to share it though. Okay, I see it here. Okay, how do I share it?
I'm just press share.
I don't see, let me see, watch video. I don't see a share, let me see. Okay, here we go.
Okay, that's your computer.
I'm looking at where to share it though.
You're able to share it from your phone too if you have your phone nearby.
Okay. Okay, there we go.
Got it, share.
Yeah, I had to cut my I had to cut it off because the feedback was throwing me off.
Is it still playing on your computer?
Let me double check. Okay, there we go. Okay.
We're in action now. Okay, wonderful. Let me just put this on here so I can see the comments. Okay. Alrighty. Let's get this party started. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cincinnati Herald's Influencers, a weekly talk show to share young voices. It's your girl, Naila Edwards again. I am one of the influencers, and I will be your evening host today. If you did not catch my show this morning, my show is about introducing you to the amazing, talented, and hardworking youth of Cincinnati, as well as speaking on influential topics that are important for our younger generation. This morning, my special guest was Miss Ebony J. So if you missed that show, be sure to go back and watch it, as well as share it. So this evening, I'll be introducing you to another one of our legends in the community, Miss Annie Ruth. Miss Ruth is an outstanding, award-winning, internationally respected visual artist, poet, and author. She has 40 plus years of experience in her field. She creates work that celebrates the human spirit. She travels and has traveled to venues across the globe where she has used her gift to reach audiences from all walks of life. She has a passion for mobilizing the community and promoting reading and literacy, and she's best described as a Renaissance woman and a catalyst for community engagement. And she has the privilege to be one of my many mentors and one of my sisterhood sisters. And today we are going to be talking about her citywide celebration event that many of you may be familiar with. It's called Dada Rafiki, but if you're not aware of what the event is, Miss Annie Ruth will be sharing all the details with you momentarily. But first, before we get into hearing from Miss Annie Ruth, just some housekeeping. I'd like to remind you to check out the Cincinnati Herald this week. You can pick up a copy of the newspaper at your local Kroger, Walgreens, UDF, Joseph F. Bookseller, or any other newspaper stand around the city. You can also go to thecincinnatiherald.com and subscribe to get mail delivery. Also, during the show, please feel free to react, comment, and share. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Miss Annie Ruth. It's an honor to have you on my show today, Miss Ruth, and it's a privilege to know you. And I'm very excited to chat all about your journey, what you do for the world, and the upcoming Dada Rafiki event, which is called Conversations this year. So, Jambo, Dada Rafiki.
Yeah, Jambo, Dada.
Hey, I caught on to when you came to UC Blue Ash. So before we get into talking about the upcoming Dada Rafiki event, I would like to talk about you and the work that you've done for not only just the community, but internationally. And like I was saying, I caught on to Jambo Dada Rafiki from when you came to UC Blue Ash and talked to Sister Circle, an organization that I was the president of at the college. And the girls loved you. Like, they were really inspired by you coming to share what Dada Rafiki was, teach us some words from Swahili.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just, I know everyone has a story to share. So what is your story about how you became the artist that you are today?
Oh my goodness. You know, I am and recently, and you probably know this, recently my mom passed away. And I tell people often, I am the woman I am because of what my mother poured into me. You know, from a very young age, I can remember as early as 3 years old, I knew that I had a gift of creating art, creating visual art. And the funny story, the family had a new encyclopedia set that mom had bought us. And so every blank page in that encyclopedia set was full of drawings by me, of course. So I say my first art exhibit was on the blank pages of our family's encyclopedia. But mom didn't spank me, but she encouraged me not to, of course, draw in the encyclopedia. But she re-emphasized that my gift was a gift from God. And she's like, don't draw on there, baby. I'll get you some paper. So she got me some paper. And I've been doing it ever since. The other thing, I think a lot was exposure. You know, even though she only finished the 11th grade in high school, there was lots of exposure. She constantly took us to the library every day. We walked there. We grew up in the College Hill. I grew up in the College Hill area. And we were always reading about everything. She exposed me to being in front of audiences very young. I can remember at age 4, my sister and I were singing in church. We were always in front of people, various ages, various backgrounds. So she was preparing me at an early age. So for what I'm doing now. So not that I don't get, quote, nervous. I don't really get nervous. I get to where I always want to do everything I do with excellence. My road in high school, for a while there, because my mom battled with mental illness, I was on the road of being a doctor. In my mind, she was always having breakdowns, so I was going to be a doctor and make her nerves go up. But it wasn't until like my 11th grade year in high school, I was in a very bad car accident, like at the verge of life or death. And I realized I wasn't on the path of using my God-given gift. So it was in around 11th grade that I made that switch from on track to being a doctor to being an artist. And so I've been doing it ever since. First professional job actually was in high school as a graphic designer at a printing company down there in Northside. Right there at Knowles Corner, there's a printing company called Capozola. And that was my first professional work as a graphic designer.
Wonderful. So my show is like centered around youth, as what I said. So would you have like any advice or of how people of my generation can get started in the arts field? I know they have like what is it called? I forget the company where they take all the students around and they do murals in Cincinnati. Artworks. There we go. Yeah. But do you have like any programs where you mentor your children on how to get into the arts and carry it on to where like you are today?
I don't do one-on-one mentoring, but anymore. I used to. Mainly I work if I do one-on-one work with young women. It's in the the leadership development circle that I do with other Dada Rafiki women that I've honored through the years. But I think the biggest advice that I can give to young people is that don't be scared to strategically volunteer. What I mean by strategically volunteer, if I'm looking to get into a field and I don't know about that field, it's not always about the Benjamins right off. If it's about getting up under the wing of someone who can really pour into you. And that's where I was really blessed to have mentors who I would get up under, learn from. By helping them, I fine-tuned and polished my skills too. I can remember as early on as in high school, where during that time, my godmother was the county clerk for, or I think it was the county clerk for the city of Wyoming. So I would go over there and volunteer with her. So I learned about writing resolutions and handling business with the city just by volunteering with her. So it made me a more well-rounded person. So that's probably my best advice. And the other piece of advice is you got to really be passionate about what you do. I love what I do. And I would do this whether I got paid for it or not. I've just learned through the years how to strategically make a living at it. But I started out just drawing and painting just because it brings me joy.
Right. So to switch gears a little bit, you have Dada Rafiki coming up. And for people who don't know, because Dada Rafiki stands for something, and a lot of people don't know what Dada Rafiki means. So can you tell us what Dada Rafiki means, first of all, and then tell us what it is, because it's a big citywide event here in Cincinnati, and most people really look forward to it. But we have a lot of people on the Cincinnati Herald Live that are not only from Cincinnati, they're from all around the world. So can you share that with us?
Right. Yeah, Dada Rafiki are Kiswahili words. And so I actually put those two Kiswahili words together. Dada means sister and Rafiki means friend. And so in 2005, I created a solo visual art exhibition at the Cincinnati Museum Center. And I invited everybody. It's about 300 or more people. They thought they were coming out to support me, to see my art and buy my art. But what I had planned was this awesome programming of music and dance and song. I had selected 8 women who unselfishly give in the community. And I said, I'm going to honor them. Instead of giving them a plaque, I'm going to give them an award, or give, not necessarily an award, I'm going to give them a token to say, I see you, I appreciate you, I love you. And that's what Dada Rafiki is all about. I've been doing that ever since 2005 with community partners. I've partnered with not only the Cincinnati Arts Association, who's my latest partner. I've partnered with the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. I've partnered with Cincinnati Public Schools. And the other piece is that we donate art collections worth thousands of dollars to schools and organizations. If you are to go to the Community Action Agency, that art collection in their lobby is a Dada Rafiki donated collection where the honorees who were selected, they get a small replica of the piece, but the art is a permanent installation that is installed in whatever facility is the benefactor for that year. Oftentimes people ask me, is it an award? And I say, no, it's not an award. The process, there's no nomination process. Because I work out and serve in the community, I just kind of keep my eye on people who are giving and doing, not looking for anyone to pat them on the back. And I really go by whoever God lays on my heart. So it's not based on I know the person or that they're my friend. Oftentimes, if they're really laid on my heart to honor, I'll get it just like a still small voice that says, hey, honor that sister. And what I've learned through the years, oftentimes many of the women had been in the middle of a cancer battle or having family issues or whatever. It met a need right there at that time by me allowing it to the honorees to be chosen organically that way. So It's a way of course, of learning about other cultures. But the main thing is that it is from the perspective of a Black woman unapologetically. You know what I mean?
Right. So like this year, usually Dada Rafiki is at the Aronoff Center in the main auditorium and usually packed the house. Like I believe the last one I went to was sold out in 2018. And I was even an escort, a wonderful escort, escorting the honorees out. But this year, since COVID happened, you had to go and turn it into like a virtual celebration. So how has that process been, and what should people be able to expect from Dada Rafiki this year?
You know what? I think they're going to get the best of the best. Just to give you the heads up, when I came up with the theme, it was way before COVID. The whole conversations and hope, health, and healing, and I knew it was. I knew in my heart of hearts that it was the last year for the Aronoff, not necessarily the last year to exist, but I knew that Dada Rafiki had outgrown just Cincinnati. And so I was trying to make that transition, and COVID actually thrust me really into my purpose. So by showing it and revealing it on the World Wide Web, I'm able to reach oftentimes family members who couldn't get in here and celebrate the honorees. They can actually still celebrate the honorees with their loved ones. And it can reach across the waters to other continents as well. What people will get is inspiration. The other piece that has happened, I always write the poetry for each honoree. I write a special poem. And in years past, Curtis Fuller would read the poem. Well, there was one year where I actually read the poem that I wrote, and people said they really loved the fact that I was sharing my own words. So this year, it'll be hosted by Curtis Fuller, but they'll be hearing me share the poems about each honoree, so they can really feel my heart's passion and appreciation for these women and men that give so much to our community. So I'm excited. We're going to be doing, keep your eye out, we're going to be doing watch party incentives. So people who host watch parties will have some gifts that they can sign up on the dadarafiki.net website. So like if you have a watch party and you've got like 10 people at your watch party, you all can get a gift, redeem it for a gift after the end of Dada Rafiki. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of be more up close and personal with the audience.
So I don't want you to like drop too much because I want people to tune in, but like how is it virtual this year? Because I'm so used to we're at the Aronoff and we're watching everybody, go across the stage live in person. So are you like having pre-settings for it, or is it just something that's going to happen the day of on Friday, November 22nd at a specific setting, or how is it going to work this year?
It is actually, it's been pre-recorded in several different venues. You'll see vignettes you actually get to meet the honorees through the vignettes and get a sense of their personal ideals and feelings about sisterhood and giving back, why they give back to the community. In the tradition of exposing people to new art forms or new music forms, but backed by popular demand though, is Cincinnati opera singer Victoria Okafor. I got so much positive response about having a young African-American opera singer who was just phenomenal. Oftentimes, a lot of the folks who came said, hey, this is the first time I ever experienced opera. So I've got some treats in store for everybody. The other thing too is I'll be performing My Sister, My Friend with some friends. And so we always close out Dada Rafiki with that song. So we've got a little bit of jazz and spoken word.
You even have the Clark sisters.
Ooh, I'm excited about that. The legendary Clark sisters will be joining us. We've been running the commercial that they've been, kind of congratulating the honorees and welcoming everybody out. So mark your calendars for Friday, November 20th at 7 p.m. It will air on Facebook. It'll stream live. It won't be live performance, but it'll stream at 7 o'clock on the Dada Rafiki Facebook. It'll be on Instagram, and it'll also be on YouTube. The great thing about YouTube is you can put you can watch YouTube on your television and just really
Right.
see it really huge. So,
Mm-hmm.
so those three particular areas. And the other thing too is the advantage is that you can go back and watch it over and over and over again.
And share it worldwide. Like don't hop in and hop out. Just watch it and share it with everyone.
Yeah.
Allow her to get her views up. Just as many people that sold out the event.
Yeah.
Used to sell out virtually.
Yeah, that's true. That's possible. You know what? And I intentionally made it free because it has always been my hope that everyone would experience just this show and demonstration of what sisterhood really looks like. And I think by hearing the stories of these women, the great thing this year is that you'll be able to hear the women's voices. So the other thing too is we do have a program book. There's a virtual program book that people will be able to flip through and read bios on the women, and they can be able to download it as well. So that's something for everybody.
Yeah. So how many honorees are there this year? And I know you've been dropping some teasers of the honorees. So can you list out some of the honorees that are going to be?
Yeah, there are 12 individual honorees. I did something very special this year, what we call a spotlight on sister organizations. So I highlighted 4 very important women's organizations: National Council of Negro Women, the Cincinnati Federated Women's Club, Queens Village, and New Prospects Baptist Church Culinary Kitchen Ministry. And then I'm also acknowledging 5 major sororities, part of the Divine Nine. So the 5, and then the individual honorees, I won't list them all, but we've got Geneva Miller. Our Baba of Honor is Robert Harris, and he is just a trailblazer in terms of the arts and social service and just giving back. I'm loving the fact that I have the opportunity to honor these people. Bernadette Watson, Tracy Duess. I mean, I met her back when she was working and had created an organization called Girls Can. Right now, she is the assistant director of diversity over at and inclusion over at Xavier University. But it's some phenomenal people. Kiera Levy-Smith, she's the founder of Black Dance is Beautiful, and is really a great arts advocate. So, I mean, people don't want to miss. I think you'll see another side of these women. Oftentimes, and this is something I've noticed that Dada Rafiki does as well. Oftentimes, many of the honorees that we will honor will be unsung, so many people might not have heard of them. But oftentimes, some of the honorees might be well known. And that's where there's such a fine line. People think that because someone's well known or popular, that they're always being encouraged. And so I just want to remind folks that the strong women, the well-known women, they need to know we see and appreciate them too, because they're not always getting the I appreciate you, I love you. So that's what Dada Rafiki is. I want to reemphasize, it's not an award. It is a loving on of our sisters to say, I see you, I appreciate you, So that's what I want everybody to kind of, they say imitation is the best form of flattery. I want everybody to be about, let's honor our sisters and brothers and let's honor each other.
And I love that. And you have I believe it was in the program book that I had, you had a list of all the honorees you've honored since 2005. And it was so many. Have you kept track of how many people?
Yeah, it's I believe counting this year, I believe it's about 185. Wow. And that was actually strategically, because the first year there were 8 honorees in 2005. Judge Cheryl Grant was one of the honorees, and what she said to me when she saw the visual art exhibition and experienced the program was that we need to see more of this. So when I produced Dada Rafiki the next year in 2006, I intentionally honored a large number of women. I mobilized visual artists, I mobilized poets with a goal in mind, because right during that time, I believe the organization was getting a lot of negative publicity about going over budget, because they were, they had built this beautiful facility in the heart of the neighborhood. And I met with their CEO at that time and said, I want to donate I know you don't have art in your budget. I want to donate some art to your facility. and I want to have this program here. So that 2006 year, we brought in Yolanda Adams to share with Donna Rafiki, and then we did a girls' conference that very next day. But my goal for having that high number of honorees is because I wanted a large art collection to fill that lobby. So there were like 22 honorees that year. So yeah, there's always a strategy or an intention behind what I'm doing.
Wonderful. And I heard you say it was the finale. Is it the finale for it forever? Is this the last
No,
it's just at the Aeronaut?
Just at the Aeronaut. So more than likely it would not occur back at the Aeronaut. Who's to say it might not ever return? But right now I'm really feeling the global stretch out national reach, just really taking Donna Rafiki to other cities. And like I said, this way, by being on this virtual platform, people can see what it's about. And just really encouraging other women's organizations and other women to, hey, let's start loving on each other and demonstrate what that looks like.
So you plan to continue this virtual platform for Rafiki?
I continue to move with the times. So if
I understand that.
With virtual television, in person in another city, we're just going to continue loving on our sisters everywhere and globally as well.
Right. So you usually have like a different theme for the Dada Rafiki event. So this year it's conversation. So where did you get the conversations idea from?
Oh, you know what? Even before we start seeing all of this horrible racial atrocities occurring, the reality is those racial atrocities were occurring in Cincinnati long before it was plastered on national TV happening anywhere else. So when I developed the conversation theme, it was really to get Cincinnati talking and getting some racial healing occurring in Cincinnati before it really manifested itself even larger on some of the media platforms. As you know, Cincinnati probably is one of the most segregated and divided cities that I've ever seen. I think this year's elections really it manifests itself in a very ugly way. I know I've been tasked with being a bridge builder. And so by staying true to myself, I still work at building bridges. If you notice one thing about Dada Rafiki, when you go, you don't just see Black people. You see just a multicultural cornucopia, I guess that's the best way, of culture, race, class, age, and everybody's leaving out of there saying, I was inspired, I learned something, you know, and that's what it's all about. Sometimes it's not about right or wrong, but like I said, there's always a strong Afrocentric presence because that's who I am. I can't get away from, I'm a Black woman and unapologetically proud of that. But at the same time, able to build those bridges too.
And I can witness to that because even with my ladies from Sister Circle, you had us attend that. You actually sponsored all of us to go. And the girls were so inspired. They were able to dress up and all they were talking about was, when is this event? I'm so excited to go. And like after the event, because I was backstage, because I was an escort and I came out, they were taking pictures. They were dressed up in their African attire. They were doing their thing.
Yeah.
They just loved the event. They loved the arts that was a part of it, all the dancers, spoken word. They were just very inspired by the show. So even though it's not in person this year, I'm pretty sure it's just as great virtually. So if you haven't participated, be sure to tune in. Next Friday, I believe it is. So
yeah, next Friday, November 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had to remember to repeat Eastern Standard Time, particularly on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, and if you have your African attire, dress up if you want to and take pictures in front of your
That's
TV.
true, yes. Selfie, hey.
Okay, submit them to Miss Annie Ruth so she can post them.
That's true. Or they can post it and tag me. They can post it.
Yeah, definitely do that because you'll be in for a treat, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So is there any last thoughts you want to like share with Dada Rafiki? Anything that people should expect that that they haven't expected before Dada Rafiki?
If you've never attended a Dada Rafiki celebration or if you've never been exposed to my work, be prepared to be inspired, motivated, empowered, enlightened, and be prepared to laugh and smile because you have fun even through your cell phone screen, your computer screen, or your television screen, you will feel the energy and love from the Dada Rafiki event. And main thing, share it, share it, share it.
Wonderful. I'm very excited for it. And I'm excited for you for this new journey you pivoted into for Dada Rafiki. The last question I want to ask you. So why is sisterhood so important to you? What is the importance of sisterhood? Because even for like the young people that are tuning in and everyone in general, I know a lot of different girls, they usually try to tear each other down, don't think of each other as a sisterhood. So why is sisterhood so important?
It is, matter of fact, and I'm glad you asked that question because, we all need each other. We weren't put on this earth just to be over here in this silo by ourselves. One thing and why I keep promoting sisterhood, I had often taken it for granted that everyone had experienced, true sisterhood at its best, and realized that there are still people out there who have not experienced sisterhood. Mm-hmm. I think my song, my sister, my friend says it best. There's a stanza in there that says, when I'm up or when I'm down, I can count on you to be around, because sisterhood is constant. It's not about I'm here because because what I can get from you. It's here. Sisterhood is about I'm here to pour in and I'm here to be here for you. And when you do that for another sister, the law, whether you call it the law of nature, whether you call it the law of reaping and sowing, what you pour out will come back to you. There's another line that says, you prayed, you stayed, and you showed me God would make a way for me. I'll tell you, like I said, I recently, my mom passed away. When it came to while my mom was, her cancer diagnosis meant that, it had spread to her brain and some other things. The Dada Rafiki sisters, all of those sisters, they cooked for me. They came, they ran errands. When it came to the homegoing, they were there. And I just want to emphasize to folks, if you've never felt the warm embrace of sisterhood, start being the sister that you want to see in your life. And that's what will come back to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. So how can people connect with you? I know you have a few social media pages. Dada Rafiki has some social media pages. So how can people connect with you?
Yeah, the main way to connect with me, I'll be honest with you, I'm learning. I'm kind of like streamlining everything. So the two best ways to connect with me is my website, AnnieRuth.com. My social media is getting poured into Who is Annie Ruth. So my personal Annie Ruth page is going to kind of phase out and everything's going to go into Who is Annie Ruth. So just remember, Dada Rafiki Facebook page, Dada Rafiki website, Annie Ruth website, and Who is Annie Ruth Facebook page. I'm still getting the hang of Instagram. I'm a little slow.
Let me know. I can help you out. You're doing a good job.
I'm trying.
And she also has like some wonderful art pieces. I don't know if you're still like sharing your merchandise, like some of your drawings.
I do. Yeah, you can find all that on AnnieRuth.com. So if you forget contact information, just Google Annie Ruth, and I pop up to the top of the search engine. So
my mom loves your artwork. I still have like posters on my room door.
Oh, you do?
Your drawings.
Oh yeah.
And for everyone who doesn't know, you did some artwork in the Black Lives Matter mural downtown.
I did, yeah. I led the team that did the letter R. And so
how was that experience? Because that was like all over the world, and we had like a really nice one here in Cincinnati.
Oh, that was awesome. The sister who was the visionary behind that is Alandis Powell. Don't know if you know her. She's an executive who works with Fifth Third Bank. But she said, hey, this is what I want to see. And she got out there and she started raising the funds and did most of that soul fundraising herself. Where as artists, all we had to do was come and paint. She wrote a poem called We Want What You Want. And it kind of broke out themes for each letter. My letter focused on, we want to see our Black men viewed as husbands and fathers, not thugs and killers. And so my particular letter dived into how we want to see the Black man in his true light. Husbands, fathers, brothers, teachers, mentors. So
right. I haven't been down there to see it. I need to go down there. I should have went down there when it was popular, but it still is. So I need to go down there and look at it. If you haven't, definitely go down there and look at it because it looks beautiful. I've seen pictures and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, thank you.
No problem.
That was good. Somebody asked me, I did an international talk, and they said, because I'm over 50, so they said, well, why would someone your age, like I'm super old or something, right, go down in the middle of COVID and do this? And I said, because I felt that strongly that it was a message that needed to be shared, and art is my vehicle. So it made sense to use my vehicle to bring about an opening of the mind. And I love art because it's a very non-threatening way sometimes to deal with very sensitive subjects. So right. I'm gonna be doing art. I'm gonna be like 100 years old. Like remember when Mrs. Spencer was up in her 90s? She was swimming like 3 times a week. So my goal is to stay very active even as I get more gray hair. Right.
Right. Well, you look great, and you're doing great. Thank you. So keep it up. Yeah. But I really enjoyed the opportunity of being able to speak to you this evening, Miss Ruth. So thank you again for being here with me. And the Cincinnati Herald was really grateful to be able to shine some light on you today and have you on the show. Yeah. But I really hope that everyone listening enjoyed the interview. There was a lot of people tuning in and learned a lot about like your journey and what you do in the upcoming virtual Dada Rafiki Conversation celebration event happening on Friday, which is next Friday, November 20th at 7. So be sure to tune in. And everyone, please be sure to support and connect with Miss Annie Ruth to keep up with her journey. She listed her social media and to watch Dada Rafiki on the 20th, because I'm pretty sure that's the only way you can watch it on social media. So be sure to go like that right now if you haven't, and be ready to tune in next Friday. And lastly, don't forget to tune back into the influencers next weekend with influencer Morgan Owens hosting the 11 a.m. show and Michael Higgs hosting the 6 p.m. show. And also be sure to check out the influencer show on the Herald TV YouTube channel, like the Cincinnati Herald on Facebook, because I'm pretty sure we're going to share the Dada Rafiki event on our page. So if you can't find her page, we'll have it on our page. And then follow us at Cincy Herald on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, you can visit us at thecincinnatiherald.com. Thank you to everyone that tuned in today, to the influencers at home. Like I said, we're not back in the radio station as of yet, but we're still here for you on Facebook Live via Zoom. So don't forget to react, comment, and share this video to support Miss Annie Ruth. And thank you again to you, Miss Annie Ruth.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad to be here. And you keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. But yeah, be sure to tune in to Dada Rafiki on Friday at 7. Support the Cincinnati Herald and everything that we do for you. Stay healthy, wear your mask, social distance as much as possible, or just simply stay home to stay alive if you can. And have a very blessed rest of your weekend, everyone. So love and peace. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.